listening to A Band of Gamers, podcasting since 2012. Three older best mates share a few laughs and keep you current with discussions about the latest news, consoles, and games. Join the conversation and the community. abandofgamers.com. ABOG, A Band of Gamers, welcome back. What's going on?
You know, that's a good question. What is, there's a lot going on, guys.
Yeah. I mean, what is?
A couple weeks, you know, a couple weeks too long, some listeners might say.
It always feels like a month. It's only been 2 weeks. Every other week. In those 2 weeks, it feels like a month. Shane's cracking his beer. That's the indication that I need to start the show.
Right?
Let's get into it.
Fired up here, man.
In this episode, a price hike quickly reversed after their fans expressed anger on social media. So the internet erupted, and they actually gave a shit, listened, and totally switcherooed the situation. We'll talk about that. Is Nintendo going to make a new Super console? PlayStation Plus games for February. You'll want to grab before they're gone. Some noteworthy games in there, I think.
I think so.
Our resident banking expert, that's Karl, is going to help us understand what the heck is happening with GameStop and the stock market that is making not only gaming news, but big time major news. I was going to say national news, but we're international. Is it making news by you gents as well, like across all the major news networks like it is here in the US?
Yeah, for sure, man. It's been all over the BBC and the papers, and yeah, everyone's got an opinion, apparently.
If it's on the BBC, then, you know.
And the BBC.
You know what I mean?
Karl's going to help explain all that too. I asked him to because I don't know. I don't get it. And I'm sick of reading about it. I just want to know. I'm Joel, your MC, one of your three co-hosts recording here in Brookfield, Wisconsin, USA, on a very snowy day, about 1.5 feet, I think, on the ground. And in certain corners where I blow the snow, I've got like one corner where everything kind of accumulates. It's about 8 feet tall. Snow. Should probably dig a hole in there and just, go have a beer and go sit in there maybe. Make a little igloo.
Make some snow ice cream. Like
the neighbors are doing out there, enjoying themselves in the snow. Joining me on this podcast journey, first of all, from Birmingham, England, goodbye is the goal. It's Karl. Hey, Karl.
Hey. Yes, goodbye is the goal if you're going to foster a dog. And that's exactly what we've done this past week. We moved to a bigger place over the end of last year, beginning of this year, and one of the reasons was that we wanted to help out. Really, we wanted a dog in our lives, and we thought we work from home a lot now. We're going to in the future, and we just thought, well, there's no time scale on this, right? So why not do a bit of good and try and help out some pups who need a bit of TLC and a bit of guidance. So we thought we've got the time, the patience, the room. Let's do it. So yeah, we had our first one drop on Saturday, and we're recording this on Sunday. So yeah, we've had a little bit over 24 hours, and she's a bit of a handful, but beautiful, beautiful dog. And it's just looking forward to the challenge, really, of just something different and something worthwhile, rewarding to do. So yeah, currently throwing in everything into that.
Heroes. I love that you guys are doing that. And to everybody out there who does that, big hearts, courage. I admire you for doing that. I love dogs. I love cats. I've got a few of one dog and a couple cats myself. And I love them to bits. I could never see them leave. But for people like you who bring in a foster, care for them, only to let them go to somebody else, I think takes a lot of courage and a much bigger heart than I have. But I give you a lot of credit. I appreciate the hell out of you guys for doing that.
No, cheers, man. That's the thing, though. Saying goodbye is going to be the hardest thing to do, right? Like, so depending how long you've got her for, then you've got to, put the work in, put the time, get emotionally attached, or try not to, and then, give her off to a forever home. But yeah, that's the goal, man. We got to give it a go.
We're still debating who's going to foster this next guy. From Vancouver, Canada. Don't waste your time because the boy's bad news. It's Shane. Anybody looking for a foster a Shane? What's going on, Shane?
Foster. I actually do a little bit of fostering here myself. I don't know if I told you guys or whatnot, but I've been I foster a lot of cold barley soup, some beers, and I have to agree with old Palmer there. But goodbye is the goal. So from this beer to the next, goodbye.
I'll give you 5 minutes on that one. Microsoft Microsoft has announced a big increase on the Xbox Live. This is not Game Pass. This is that separate Xbox Live that goes all the way back to, what is it now, like 2003? I forget when they first launched, because it was on the original Xbox. Before the 360, they launched Xbox Live. I think back then it was about $50 a year in the US. Now it's up to $60 here in the US. They were about to double that. So if you pay for it monthly, it was going to go up $1. If you pay for it every 3 months, it was going to go up $5, but annually it was going to go up $60. Wait a minute, this makes no fucking sense. $1 a month is $12.
Yes.
So maybe I got this all wrong, but anyway, I was going to see a substantial increase. Forget the dollars, because I just probably murdered that whole section. But what are they doing? Why were they doing this? And I have a theory, and I think a lot of people have a theory, so this is probably not surprising anybody, or it's not hot news, hot takes. But I think they just want to force people into the bundle, right? They want to get you in Xbox Live Ultimate, which is Live and Game Pass. They're trying to funnel you into Game Pass, because Game Pass is something that, in my opinion, after you get a taste, you really don't want to get rid of it. You want to keep it. That's kind of what Netflix does, right? And a lot of these streaming services. You subscribe to Netflix, you get in there, you see the content's so good, and you're like, I can't live without this. I'm forever going to be paying the sub. I got to keep this. And that's what Xbox Game Pass is to me, and certainly that's their goal. Whereas Xbox Live is, you need it to play online, and if you don't play online, well, I guess you don't need it. Trying to funnel you in it. You guys agree? Disagree? Is that what they're up to here? Is that their ulterior motive, forcing everybody into like a bundled Ultimate situation?
Yeah, for sure. It can't be cheap for them to run Game Pass, so they want as much many people as they can into that ecosystem. And like you say, Joel, once you've had a taste, it is difficult to give it up. And as a casual user of PC Game Pass myself, you've got the list of the games. I keep, if I let it run out, if I let it lapse, I keep the games installed, because I'm definitely going to be back. And then you look for a deal and you buy a few months or a year or whatever. It's definitely something that it keeps you interested. In the amount that they release new games, it's such good value. So yeah, I definitely think that they were thinking, right, Xbox Live is a bit outdated, and maybe we need to move away from the model. Let's whack the price up and then see what's going on. I think they just did it to see what the reaction would be, if I'm being brutally honest. I don't think that they actually, if no one had said anything, I'm sure they would have carried on with it. But to have the swift response ready to just be like, no, we're not doing it. I guess that they must have anticipated that response.
Any thoughts there, Mr. Shane?
I don't know, man. Prices go up. I was, doubling. It's a bit much. It was a bit much. I don't like to think that, we're just going to try to force them in, so we'll jack the price on it. It's like the old like the soft drink cups or whatnot, where it's like, then you have the decoy size, that medium decoy, and you pour it into a large, and it's not really that much bigger. It's just to get you to buy it. I don't know. I don't like to think that, but at the end of the day, everything's going up. The pandemic and everything has created a lot of price increases that we're going to be paying for a long time. But it's weird that they would jump at double. That seemed odd. So I have no idea what the thought was behind that. They could have inched it up a bit, another, $10 a year or whatever, $15 a year, and been fine. It's everything's going up. It's going to happen. The fact that everybody freaked out and they immediately we're really sorry about this. It's like, okay. Now you kind of backed yourself in the corner. What happens when it comes time where you actually gotta, raise the price a bit? It's, to me, it seems like now you're kind of stuck there. But I ain't much of a businessman, I guess. I just think it's. I was more kind of like, wow, everybody's flipping out, and they backpedaled again, right? To me, the internet's upset. Okay, well, we better watch what we're doing. No, just do it. Do it. You want to raise the price? Raise the price. Let's go. Everything costs money.
Well, that's why I think it was a ploy to get people over to Ultimate, because it wasn't about the money. If it were about the money and everybody freaked out, they'd be like, well, tough shit, we're losing money. We still have to make the money. but they didn't raise Ultimate and they didn't raise Game Pass. Those stayed exactly the same. It's just that other weird component. I've said this before and I'll say it again right here because it's perfect timing right now. Xbox Live needs to go away. If Game Pass is their ultimate moneymaker, and it is, it's time to retire Xbox Live. Have one service, have it all be together, call it Ultimate, just call it Game Pass. That'd be easier. Not this confusing Xbox One X, Xbox Series X. You're already confusing as hell with all of your naming conventions. Everybody knows what Game Pass is. Just sell Game Pass. We love it. We'll buy it. I love it. I'll buy it. But it's this, and then to have Xbox Live separately, and then I pay for Ultimate, which includes, it's confusing. Just sell me one service that gives me everything and knock it off.
Sure.
You can't argue with that.
Well,
I mean, you could.
Okay, and I'll say on both sides of the coin, because I have to be the guy. PlayStation can do the same thing too. Just bundle it all together, put it all in one package, $100 a year. Let's go. Do whatever you want. Pay your $100 a year. Have a wide open field to throw to. Be great. So what would you? How about that? There you go. Bundle them together. $100 a year. Let's go. Where are you at with that?
I don't know. I'm more of an Xbox guy lately. I haven't bought a PlayStation 5 yet, and try not to quit trying to.
No, but I'm saying
coerce me. Damn it! I still want one. This is rough. It's gonna be a long year for me here.
No, you don't want one, man. Trust me.
I don't want $100 a year. I don't. If I don't want PlayStation now, I don't want to have to pay 40 extra bucks for something that I don't need and I don't want. So I'm not sure I agree with you there.
Yeah, and there's people that Xbox, but they don't want Game Pass.
Name one. Who's got an Xbox that doesn't want Game Pass?
I'll tell you who. The millions of players who play Call of Duty, FIFA, Madden, and the people who just play that.
Oh, damn you, Karl.
Right? There's a lot of them out there.
Because they're like, well, I don't mind paying for. I don't want all these other games. So, they're not going to sit down and play. I don't know, Yakuza. I mean, they might. They probably should.
Really?
if you're just playing, if you're just playing Call of Duty and stuff, you probably need to broaden your horizons a little bit. But whatever you enjoy is it's up to you. And they've got the choice at the minute to do that with just that live subscription. So, it's.
See, Palmer always does this. He comes in and it's just like, there you go. There's some whipped cream on top. Smooths everything over.
He makes a solid argument. I mean, I can't argue there.
You can't argue with him.
No.
I've tried. Believe me, over the years, I have tried.
The worst part is he stays so calm. I got veins popping out of my head like I'm ready to go, and Karl's like, whatever, dude. Whatever. He's just all composed. It's getting old, Karl. You gotta lose your shit sometimes. Help us out.
I did it when I was younger. That's enough.
Of course, I'm joking, but that's a very good argument there. And as you said, Xbox completely reversed their decision. They said, forget it. Nothing to see here. We're right back to where we were. They tweeted, I think it was a day? Less than a day? It was very quick. Here's a tweet from @Xbox. Today was not great. We always try to do our best for you, and today we missed the mark. We hear you, and we're reversing our Xbox Live Gold pricing updates. Then they went on to say, to bring Xbox Live more in line with how we see the player at the center of their experience, we will be removing gold requirements for free-to-play games. We're starting to work on that immediately, and we'll have updates in the coming months. So not only did they reverse their decision, they're starting to get rid of Xbox Live Gold, right? Those free-to-play games like, I don't know, Fortnite and all, I'm sure. I think that requirement was already removed from that one. But any of the other... Huh? Who?
Rocket Leisure?
Oh, yeah. There's another one.
Rocket League action?
No, I think both of those games you still needed Xbox Live.
Okay.
But obviously and that's like a huge win for them as well. I mean, it should have come a lot sooner. But that's kind of been buried in this message now. It's like, we're not doing that, but also, they should have led with that.
Like we're raising the price, but we're going to make it free to play for the free to play games. That'd be like, that's like a double stab in the back right there, though.
No, not to raise the price, but they should have announced, we're making it free to play. This is, you don't need live because we're putting live up.
There you go. It just
they'd be extra.
Yeah.
Needs to go away.
So all the people who would have got offended who play Fortnite, it's all good.
Xbox Live, please go away. Just give me Game Pass and enough. So what's up with Nintendo, hey? I think everybody thinks it's coming. I think everyone thinks they're making a Nintendo Switch Pro. It hasn't yet been announced. Nintendo is infamous for their iterative consoles. They were doing it before these other guys, PlayStation and Xbox, kind of got involved with their 3DSs and their 3DS Lites, and they've always been iterating on their consoles and putting new editions of them out in different colors and all sorts of different things to make a buck. It would not surprise me at all to see a Switch Pro or equivalent. I think it's coming. I mean, for starters, the Switch is not in 4K. It's a real obvious, easy thing to do there. Well, I don't know about easy technically, but the market would love a 4K version of their Switch games to play on their 4K TVs. So, I think that's a no-brainer there.
That isn't portable and just sits under your TV.
Well, for the 4K, you would obviously hook it up to your TV.
Right?
Correct.
But if they came out with a model that's not a Switch, then it's not a Switch. Yes, it is. And it just sits under your TV, and you don't have to worry about the controllers or anything. Come on, make it happen, boys.
That's an interesting take, because obviously
yeah. But you're right. Like if they make it 4K, if they upgrade it, then there's no reason for the portability.
Or you upgrade the screen as well. Maybe a little bit bigger. Maybe you make them Joy-Cons a little nicer, because the Joy-Cons are still kind of flimsy and small. Make those a little nicer, little higher screen, higher res screen on the device, and dock it at 4K.
Yeah. Let's go, boys.
But anyway, a Brazilian journalist who goes by the name of PH Brazil, and this was reported on comicbook.com, or at least that's how my Apple news feed fed it to me, on Twitter, PH Brazil on Twitter, recently suggested the next Switch revision will not be called the Nintendo Switch Pro, as a lot of people have been calling it up to this point, but instead it will be called the Super Switch. You guys on board with that name, the Super Switch? Very retro.
Best opportunity.
Very retro.
They could have called it the Super Nintendo, but maybe next time.
Yeah, I don't know about that name. I suppose
the name.
The name Super Nintendo is fine. Super Switch, I guess it's just it's in keeping with the previous stuff.
Yeah,
what else they could have called it?
Like the Super Wii, the Super 64.
No one needs a Super Wii.
This is the worst. Come on. Super Switch, why not?
It'll happen at some point. It's inevitable. So, yep, Super. It doesn't matter what it's called, does it? Unless it was called Project Dolphin. I really liked that name, but it never made it to the final thing. But hey, there's still time.
You just like mammals.
That's true.
Is a dolphin a mammal?
All right,
I think it's a fish.
No, a whale is. Hold on.
There you go. Yeah.
All right.
I think Super Switch. I prefer to Switch Pro.
You like that better?
There was the PlayStation Pro at one point. Let them call them their stuff Pro or whatever. Come up with something different. Then you all of a sudden you're gonna have all these console makers with, oh well, this is the Pro version. No, let's go Super Switch. I'm Team Super Switch.
I like that.
100%.
It sounds like more of an upgrade than Pro. Pro is like, what are you an esports gamer now? I need the Pro version.
Exactly.
I got to get my blue spec glasses and my faster controller, and I got to put my jersey on and sit down in my gaming chair, and there you go. Hardcore esports Switch Pro. But the audience though that knows what this is, from the Nintendo to the Super Nintendo, what's that, like early to mid 90s when they made that jump? 94, 93, right around there. 92, 91 maybe, when they went to the Super Nintendo. Does that carry any name recognition now to anybody but us old people? Is it obvious the Super Switch is a step up, I guess, compared to Nintendo Switch Pro? If you're in the store and you're a mom or a grandma, does that say, hey, this is the new one, this is the better one?
It would if they had done this sooner with upgrades of previous consoles. And another reason I like the Super Switch name is, they've done it before. They've had the Super Nintendo. If they keep doing that, that, there's going to be a Super coming out. And I honestly think because of that, it actually works, and it is it's in their heritage to do.
30 years ago, man. 25, 30 years ago, they did that.
91 to 21.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. Oh, Jinx, you owe me a Coke. See, they got something with that. See?
What do you guys want in a Super Switch? Do you want the portability to go away and just have it be a 4K under the TV? Do you want the bigger screen, the better Joy-Cons? Shane, would you buy one? What would make you buy one, I guess? And I'm not saying you're going to buy one, but what features would you want in there if you were shopping and you're like, okay, now I got to get this thing?
If it was just a console under the TV.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. With have that and just come with one Pro controller or Super controller, whatever they want to, whatever they're calling it. See, now it's all going to go online.
But they already have they already have the dock. I'm playing devil's advocate. They already have the dock. Yep. You can already get it and leave it just under the TV. I kind of just leave mine under the TV. I don't really take it anywhere. So would it be cheaper though if they didn't put a screen on it? Maybe they make it a little bit cheaper, having it just be a dedicated under the TV device.
Yeah, I honestly would probably, that would be best for me to really get me going with a Super Switch. Yeah, just a console under the TV. Don't worry about no docking. Quality controller, great games, which it already has.
I was going to make a really bad docking reference, but I'm not going to. That's
probably best to leave that.
Yeah. Karl, any features you want there in the Super Switch? Are you Team Super Switch or are you Nintendo? You said you don't give a shit what they call it, right?
Yeah, I don't care. But I would like it to be a console under the telly. Yeah, I'm not. I don't need the portability really. And it would be cheaper. You would have more power in it as well. Yeah, console under the telly. I'd probably buy one. But I don't know what I'd do with my existing Switch then.
Sell it.
I'll probably just keep.
Things are in high demand.
Yeah, maybe they could connect them together for some games. You could have multiplayer, and you could have could do things or use the Switch as a second screen. Could do some stuff like that. That'd be cool. But Super Switch, get it under the telly. Let's get it.
I like it. Hopefully they announce it soon. And there's rumors also that the Nintendo Pro Super Switch could be featured immediately with that Breath of the Wild sequel. It could take advantage of the 4K and all the whatever the new shiny is going to do. And rumors also that Nintendo Breath of the Wild 2 could be coming in second quarter this year, between April and June. It seems like a stretch, but wouldn't surprise me. Nintendo's very good at keeping secrets and also very good at saying it's done, it's ready, it'll be out in 3 months, which I would probably lose my shit and cancel my summer plans and just play Zelda. There you go. With my new Super Switch.
I could see that dropping pretty quick, to be honest. I think summer might not be unrealistic.
There you go. That's my summer sorted right there. Can't wait. PlayStation Plus games for February. Who wants to read through the 3 games here?
Well, I can say it. Why not? So first, Control Ultimate Edition. Now, this is going to be on the PS5 and PS4. It caused a bit of controversy a few months ago. You probably remember us talking about it as Shane rolls his head. And, people wanted that upgrade. They wanted that, 4K shininess. And the devs launched a new edition of it. They'd already released a complete edition, I think, and then they released the Ultimate Edition with the upgrade and all the rest of it. And people were moaning that they didn't get the upgrade. So some people have bought that. Like this actually went on sale at the beginning of January, so you could buy it ready, PS5 ready. Like brilliant! I'm going to drop my $50 on it or whatever, and then it's been announced as part of PlayStation Plus for February, and people are, as you can predict, chaps, mad. I've already bought the game. I haven't even downloaded it. Why? I want a refund. It's on Plus. it's the risk you take when you buy any game, in my opinion. But the timing is awful. Like, I can understand, like, if you haven't even downloaded it and you're waiting for the PlayStation 5, I'll probably be annoyed. But then I'll probably have a beer and forget about it. But what do you reckon, Shane? I can see you're waiting to say something.
No, it's you run a risk anytime you buy anything. Like, this conversation comes up every month. Every time they announce it, I just bought it on a sale. So what? Do you like the game or not? I just that's why I stay out of comment sections now. far away from them.
I know. Like
I said, it's every single month when they announce the new games, it's people aren't happy. They just bought it or whatever it is. Like, it's happened to me like 4 times. So it happens.
Yeah, it's happened to me too, mate.
Yeah.
It's
one of them.
What are you doing pre-ordering a digital game anyway? What the hell's the point of that? Take my money now. Earn interest on my money 4 months before it comes out. Why? I get like limited run games, right? They're only making 10,000 of a game or 1,000 of a game. I get pre-ordering that. You want to secure yourself a copy. There's not limited numbers of digital copies, people. What the hell are you doing? Pre-ordering
codes, Joel. They run out of codes.
True. You might get a refurbished code, right? Or
that's so ridiculous. Why? I'm going to spend my allowance now because I don't want to waste my allowance in 4 months. Why do you got to pre-order it now? I don't get this pre-ordering a digital game thing. You should be mad at yourself, you fool, for pre-ordering a digital game. What are you doing? Okay, I didn't mean that. Don't get mad at me if you pre-ordered it.
I mean, preloading is kind of convenient at times.
But you can do that the week before, right? You don't have to do it 4 months before. You probably couldn't even preload
4
it
months
then.
Before. Mate, I'm 100% with you. 4 months before, yeah, no. When it comes closer to the release date and whatnot, it's like, hey, if I grab that, I can play it tomorrow night. Yeah, sure, let's do it. And I've done that when they've had, you pre-order and you can play it a couple days early, whatever. Sure, that's convenient with a few games. Get a head start on something that we're going to talk about on the show. It's great, but yeah, 4 months. That's a little. Come on, guys. It's gonna be there in 3 months. So just hold off, wait. But yeah,
I just don't get it. I don't mean to be a dick to anybody out there. I just don't get why you need to pre-order a digital copy. It just doesn't make sense. But I also agree that it would kind of irk me a little bit if I bought it and then. But that's the internet, and that's especially gamers on the internet, man. I'm with you, Shane. Comments and Twitter. I can't even look at Twitter anymore because it's like a forum comment section these days with all the vitriol and everyone just like, how dare you? All right, all right, Karl. There's a whole list of there's 3 games here, and we totally sabotaged the first one.
Second up is Concrete Genie, which is a game that came out on the PS4. I think it was last year, actually. This one looked pretty cool. One I wanted to try out, but never got cheap enough on the store. So I'm quite chuffed this is on there, and have a little play of that for sure. And last but not least, Destruction All Stars, which was scheduled as a launch game for the PS5, and they pulled it back and said, we'll drop that in the new year. And no, lo and behold, they've released PS5 games on Plus each month, and this was obviously they'd earmarked it for a particular month. So I'm looking forward to this as well. I think this could be a good, maybe get some little Destruction Derby vibes and stuff like that, and a bit of multiplayer going. So I'm going to be checking this out for sure and talk about it on the next show.
It was kind of neat. They did a state of play on it and released like a full, like 7 or 8 minute clip of actual gameplay and whatnot, which I thought was really neat. I hope they keep doing that. When there's a new game coming out or whatnot, something like this, even regardless of whether or not it's Plus related, but just showing off some solid, good 5-10 minutes of just actual gameplay, somebody playing it. I thought that was probably the best part of seeing that footage.
So is this that car combat game? Where it's kind of like an arena-based shooter in cars kind of deal.
Yeah.
That's the one, mate.
Okay.
God knows if it's any good. But
Yeah,
who knows?
Well,
Give it a go.
two
It's free.
PlayStation 5 games in the same month. Because Control Ultimate, obviously PlayStation 5, the better up-resed version, and then this. Good on you, Sony.
Yeah, why not? And I'll probably check out Control as well. I thought I'd bought it at some point because it was installed on the PS4, but I think I'd downloaded it on now and never played it. So I will probably check this out. We had a couple of people in our community on Twitter who were talking about it, bigging it up. So yeah, I'm going to jump in there, give that a look as well. But yeah, it's a good job they don't make a stock trading game, because I think that would have been pre-ordered massively in this last week.
Yeah, well, Animal Crossing, you can trade them turnips. Get your stock trading in Animal Crossing. But yeah, Karl, Shane, help Shane and I demystify the GameStop stock thing. So let me try my best to explain it here at a very high level. Some people got together, did some shit in the stock market, and caused GameStop some grief. There you go.
That's a great synopsis, to be fair. I'm going to explain this in Animal Crossing terms of turnips then, as we've just mentioned turnips. So let's say it's a turnip.
No.
Yeah, man, let's do it. So you're in this. If you're buying and selling stocks on the stock market, if you've ever watched a movie Trading Places, you can see how this kind of thing happens. They buy and sell on the same day, and they settle at the end of the day, depending. So you can buy shares multiple times. You can buy, if you want to buy coffee and it's real low, you can load up on it, and then as it rises, you ship those shares out. But at the end of the day, you have to settle with what's going on. Regardless of where you are. And this all comes from basically short selling, which is something where, so say if I've got 100 shares of GameStop, right, and Joel comes to me and he's like, right, okay, I want to borrow your shares in GameStop and I want to sell them today for the price that they are today. That's what you would do. And then in say 30 days time, you would have to give me those 100 shares of GameStop back. Right? So you're selling them now and gambling on the market that the price will drop so that you can then buy those shares again in 30 days and make money.
Okay.
So say you sell them now for $100, and in 30 days time, 100 shares is worth $60. So you buy them back, you give them back to me, you've made $40 and for nothing. So what hedge funds do is they gamble massively. So GameStop is on a watch list of firms that would really, really struggle and could potentially go bust, which is what we've seen. So all they've done is they've clubbed together, they bought as many shares in GameStop as they could at one point, short sold them, and what that does then is it causes the market to panic. Everyone sells because the price is going down and no one wants to be left holding the baby. So the price goes down and down and down and down and down. Then what they would do is the hedge fund would buy those shares back at a much lower price and return them, and give them back and keep all that money. The result of which could be bankrupting GameStop in the process. The share price falls so low, trading ceases, the company has profit warnings, all sorts of crazy stuff can happen. And what happened here is the internet got involved. They got wind of a massive short sell by this hedge fund, and people on Reddit forums and the internet got together and they were like, well, if we buy these shares, it forces the market price up. And that's what's happened. So the internet has bought a shit ton of shares, right? So the hedge fund now has lost billions of dollars because they have to pay an inflated share price to buy these back to return those shares at the end of the period which they've agreed. So does that make sense?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah. So I'm borrowing off you, I've got to give it back to you, that share, in 30 days. What I do with it in the meantime is up to me. I can sell it and buy as many times as I want to, depending on what I think is going to happen. But I have to give you that share back. So if I sell it for $100 now, brilliant. But in 3 or 4 weeks' time, it's $600 a share. I'm in trouble, because I'm losing $500. So on a grand scale, that's what's happened. And the world's gone mad. Like it's a really interesting scenario because it got, we talk a lot about into the internet and about gamers and about, there's a lot of bad stuff on the internet and good stuff. So all they've done in this situation is played the hedge fund at their own game and just said, right, okay, we're going to inflate the share price. So the hedge fund is going to be in serious financial difficulty. And all these gamers who bought the shares when they were lower have been flipping them and selling those shares at a higher price. The loads of people have been making money. And at some point, somebody's going to lose a lot of money because they're going to be buying shares high and then it's just going to crash down. So I'd be wary about buying GameStop shares now, for sure. But if you got in and got out super early, then there's a lot of gamers who've made a lot of money, and the share price of GameStop has risen. And that's not a bad thing for them, particularly in the short term. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, potentially making a hedge fund go bankrupt is interesting.
So let me see if I can take this in and spit it back out and see if I understand here. So the hedge fund is banking on it, the price is going down. So borrows it, as you say, or for a certain amount of time. Mm-hmm. So someone sells it to them. They think the price is going to go down. They think they're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, because they bought in enough volume to sell it to drive the price down. So they bought a load of shares, and they were going to sell them all. But gamers found out about it. So after they've done that, and the share price should drop, the share price went up because gamers were buying the shares. And now the hedge fund have to buy those shares back at some point, if they haven't already. So that's a massive financial hole.
So the disconnect I have here, so is let's talk prices. Let's use fake pricing here. The hedge fund bought them at what price?
Okay,
just make up a number.
The hedge fund. Okay, so the hedge fund bought them at $100. So that's what they borrowed those shares. They don't pay a value for them. They borrow it. So you're giving me 100 shares at $100, right? Or we can even say one share at $100 for argument's sake. So I owe you one share. That share, when you gave it me, is worth $100, right? So you've given me the share. If I just keep the share and give it you back in 30 days, there's no harm, because I'm not doing anything with it. But if I sell it straight away, and I could sell that share for $100, brilliant. But if the market goes against me and the share price goes up, I might have to buy that share back for $120. And then I'll lose $20 because I'm giving you the share and I've had £100 for selling it or $100 for selling it, and then buying it back for 120. So I'm immediately down $20.
Got it. But, that helps.
So change that, but say it's a million shares, or I don't know how many they bought. I'm not sure on the hedge fund, but so they bought as many shares as they could. So say it's 500,000 shares at like $2 each, and then all of a sudden they sold them, thinking they're going to crash it. And what they do a lot of the times is then the hedge fund will go in and they will buy up the actual business and liquidate it and sell assets off and asset strip it. It's a practice that does happen. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, well we've got to buy back 500,000 shares, which we sold at $2, but now they're worth $10 a share.
Wow. So where is GameStop in this now? Because they were just an innocent bystander in this practice. Yeah. How are they hurt financially now, or kind of where do they stand now because of this mess that's going on?
No, I mean, I suppose it depends if whatever they want to do. The share capital that they've got now is big, but at the same time, there's not a lot. There are things that they can do with it, but I'd imagine that anything that they would want to do they wouldn't be able to do anyway, because I think the trading in the shares and everything's been suspended while this matter's been looked into, which again is another argument, because the public haven't done anything wrong. All they've done is club together, like thousands of gamers across the states have made their own hedge fund. Basically, they've all clubbed together and they're all buying all these shares up, and they're all they're doing is sharing public information and drumming up support to buy the shares in the market, which is crippling the hedge fund. So then obviously that can impact, we've all got 401ks, pension pots and all the rest of it. You're bound to have, people are buying and selling stocks all the time. So this will impact people's pensions and businesses and all sorts. But it's an interesting, it's a bizarre thing that's happened. It just goes to show the power of the internet.
And some of the news that's come out from what I'm reading is that like the hedge fund people are sometimes viewed as kind of shifty, villainous people.
Well, yeah, because I mean they bought these shares and sold them short to drive the price down to potentially get this to put this business under.
So then what that's the goal, to put them under.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really that is shitty. But that's legal, correct? That's totally legal for them to do that.
Yeah, it's happened before. It happened with Toys R Us. It's been probably the higher profile in the last few years. Like it does happen, and they'll have a look at the annual accounts. They'll have a look at the reports and be like, right, okay, the assets actually they've got, in terms of physical buildings, land, and stuff like that. They're thinking, well, if we can short it out and then buy the business, if they go into liquidation or whatever, then administrators listen to offers, don't they? You buy it up and then you sell it all off, and then you make even more money.
Wow. So are the people sitting on these shares now, kind of screwing the hedge funds? They're being like applauded, correct? I saw the word hero used.
Yes,
on one of my friends' Facebook feeds about this. Like, hold it, hold it. You're a hero. Hold it.
I totally. I think at a time this couldn't have happened at a better time, because people have been through coronavirus. People have lost their jobs. People have bought these shares. And some of them have made 10 times, 20 times what they bought them for. It's a great story. It's like a great story of people taking on the markets at their own game and making some coin off the back of it. It's if people have done it and they've made some cash out of it, fair play to them. The banks and the money markets. So it's all a big gambling game at the end of the day, isn't it? So why not beat them at their own game?
So who's investigating it? So hedge funds can act. That's legal to do what they're doing. What they're doing is legal, which is what the internet just did back to them.
Yes,
they're considering to be illegal, or like what? Why? Because it was on Reddit. How is it any different? They get a taste of their own. They get a taste of their own medicine, and they're like, "Wait a second, no, you can't do this to us.
Yes,
we can do it to you, but you can't do it to us." So now, I'm assuming they're the ones that are like, "Okay, we need to have this investigated."
Exactly. That's it is literally spitting the dummy out the pram. So that hedge fund, when they bought those shares, knew that another hedge fund wouldn't buy those shares. Like, so when they bought them and sold them short, the GameStop as a business is financially struggling. A hedge fund isn't going to buy those shares at a low margin. They're going to see what's happened and be like, okay, so that's going down. What you've got here is a load of individuals who really don't care. Like, they might be spending $100 each, and they're thinking, well, if I lose it, I lose it. But it's a stance against what they were doing to GameStop when they found out, and it just spread like wildfire. And then people started realizing, well, actually, if I can turn my $100 into $500 in one day, I'm going to get on this train real quick. And that's what people have done. Like, people just, and then all that investment drives the share price up, which makes the position worse. And then you're still going to get people who are buying the shares at this highest point. I don't know if it's at the peak yet. But if the individuals do buy really high, it depends on how much money they're willing to lose. But some people have, you're talking thousands and thousands of people chipping in $50, $100. Some people have gone bigger. There is no worry about what happens. Like, if I lose $50, it's fine. It is what it is, and I'm happy to stick it to the man. So it's a charming story, I think. Like, I think it's quite funny, but there could be if a hedge fund goes bust, there could be ramifications. But they'll find some way of changing the game, change the rules, suit them.
Well, thank you for explaining that. That's fascinating.
So, who would touch a GameStop share now? Why would anybody want to touch one of those shares now?
I think it's the gamble is, has it peaked? If you think you can still make 10%, and you want to drop 10 grand to make $1,000, like, that's a risk that somebody might make. But it's definitely gone through the biggest influx of people buying the shares. It all comes down to your personal, your risk appetite, doesn't it? I don't tend to worry about it. Like the only shares I'll deal
Right.
with him is in pension pots, and I just tick a box to say, risky, not so risky, or super safe. Like that's it. I don't dabble myself, but it all depends. Like people have got a few quid, and do you know what? This is my fun pot, man. I'll throw this in. It's just like having a bet.
Yeah. A lot of, I don't know. Cool.
That's why I'm glad my wife's best friend is a financial advisor, and we trust her to death. And you figure this shit out. Here's our money. Just do us proud.
When I retire, I just don't want less than this. That's it.
Right. Exactly. A lot more, please. Just grow it.
A lot more would be great, but at least don't. If it's just a bit more, fine. But just don't lose it.
Yeah. Feels much safer selling turnips than it does my actual retirement. Yeah. Very interesting. Discord. We got a Discord server. And we've got some new people joining over there. So I wanted to just give a shout out and thanks over to Big Hoss.
Nice.
John Mouse, right? John Mao 55.
Hey.
And Rhythm Bot.
Ooh.
Or Rhythm, and it's a bot. I wanted to talk about this. So I did this. I saw our friends over in, used to be called Drunken Gamers. Before that, they were called Team Fremont Live. Now they're called Mojo Menace. Longtime gaming podcast. Some guys have interacted with the Midwest Gaming Classic a few times. Midwestern dudes. And in their Discord, which I participate, and so does my wife. Good chat going on over there. John, the dude there at Mojo Menace podcast, he did this in his Discord. He added this Rhythm Bot, created a way to play and share music in Discord. And I thought this was brilliant. And I thought this is like ABOG right here. They thought of us when they did this. So I went ahead and added it to our Discord. That's what the Rhythm Bot is. And it gives us the capability. And I created a new thread. So it's a voice thread. So it's kind of the same as going into a group voice chat. And you enter that voice chat, but then you go to the other thread called the Jukebox thread. You type in an exclamation point, the word play, and then a song name, and it'll play the song in that voice chat thread.
Ooh.
So it gives everybody the opportunity. If we wanted to hang out at some point together, we could do we could share music, could share. It might be kind of fun. I don't know. We'll see if we use it, but I just thought it was pretty cool, and I thought maybe at some point we could schedule a night where we could all get together and maybe even take turns. It's your night. Share a bunch of music, have some drinks, hang out, and share some tunes.
Yeah, nice.
A platform I've been wanting for, I don't know, since 2013 when Shane and I first started sharing music on the podcast. I think that's a great idea. I'm glad they're doing this. I don't know. I think YouTube at some point is going to be like, hey, we still want our ad money. So you have to knock this shit off because it does pull a lot from YouTube music right now. So hopefully it doesn't come crashing down. But what a great new feature in our Discord. So if you haven't joined Discord, join Big Hoss there and John Mao 55. Hop on over. Let's hang out. Get some good chats going, and maybe we'll hook up some night and share some music. Or if you'd like, help us discover new music. Share some music in that Jukebox thread. Give us a holler that you're in there doing that. We'll jump in and give it a listen. What we're drinking.
I went with Old Dusty. Tastes as great as its name.
Is that Old Milwaukee?
One of my favorite brews for the past year. I love it. Deadly IPA by Boombox Subsonic. 4% alcohol, 100% flavor. Very, very good. Comes in convenient little cans. You crack them open. You pour them in a glass, unless it's opposite day. And then you pour the glass into the can. No, don't do that. But yeah, very good. I've poured one the other night. I shared this in our Discord group, and thank you, boys, for joining. And definitely get in there and join. It's fantastic. I had a clean glass, and there was a little bit of water. There was some water droplets in there. So as soon as the beer poured in there, it just started foaming and buzzing. It was great. But it happens, Seasoned veteran, doesn't bother me. I ain't got no shame, We all make a bad pour once in a while, buy a bad pour stock, It happens. but we still enjoy it, and it's a great beer. And yeah, Boombox Subsonic, man, just deadly go-to. 4%, very crushable.
Nice.
One of the best around. Yeah, I love it.
It always looks a good beer, that does, dude. One you can spam back. I'm drinking another Vocation brew.
What?
I know, shock horror, right? On the show last time round, I said that they'd missed a couple of beers from my last delivery, which I now have. And this is probably my last stout in a little bit. Like it's been stout heavy for a little while, but I thought I'd end on one of my favourites. And this is a breakfast stout, 2.0, because the previous batch that they did finished. And you can actually get this in the supermarket. So like if you got like an Asda or Tesco and stuff, I think you can grab this, a couple of quid a can. Breakfast Club. I just love the can. It's got like it's a blueberry waffle stout.
Ooh,
6.9%. It's very. And you can. I don't know if you can see the kind of the redness in this the head on there, chaps. But it's definitely a very fruity, very sweet stout. Just that a little tinge of bitterness to it. But man, it's so good. It's a really, really good one, and they basically ran out of the first one, so they re-released it, and dare I say this one may be slightly bit better, but yeah, full of that jammy kind of, you had that like a jam donut one I think a few years ago. It's very similar, it's got a thickness that like a sticky sweetness to it. It's super good, man, super good.
It sounds really good. I'm a huge fan of blueberries.
Oh, yeah.
Blueberry and chocolate go really well together. Kind of that bitterness of a blueberry and that kind of I like a dark chocolate. So kind of the bitter, tiny sweetness of a dark chocolate and a blueberry. That's what I imagined in my head there when you're describing that blueberry stout. A little tart with just a hint of that sweetness to kind of take her down the path.
Yeah, man.
To your stomach. Delicious.
Super tasty.
It's Eagle Park Brewing here in Milwaukee. It's called Bottoms Up. This is one of my favorite beers this last bunch of months. It's really, really good. It's lighter. It's a little bit heavier than Shane's lightweight, but it's a 5.6%. So what do you say? Like a light middleweight there? Is that a middleweight 5.6?
I'd say that's light welterweight, welterweight,
super welterweight or something. Yeah,
the six. I'd say a welterweight would start at about 5.5. So we'll put it in the welterweight weight class.
I feel like we need to add like a scale to our agenda, so I know.
Yeah, we totally should.
But it's a milkshake style IPA, so it's got a taste of vanilla, some lactose sugar in it. Not the most healthiest, but it's got like an orange and a tangerine flavor to it. So it's got a little bit of that citrus taste with the vanilla. I'm not milkshake IPAs. I know I don't know if you guys have ever had one of those, but people are like, it tastes like this milkshake IPA and Eagle Park's milkshakes IPAs, they do a really good job with them. They still kind of have that beer citrusy taste with just a hint of the milkshake. Some of those milkshake IPAs are just all milkshake, and it's kind of gross. But no, if I told my wife will not drink this, she's like, that's disgusting. It's too sweet. But I absolutely love this beer. Bottoms Up by Eagle Park, so good.
Almost nice. When they have that balance, almost like a little creamsicle action. I don't know if kids remember creamsicles.
Oh yeah, this has got that. This has got that. And they're very crushable.
Did one that is almost identical to what you're describing, like a tangerine, kind of very orangey, but just not quite subtle, but just like really easy on the lactose. So just that right amount of sweetness and that, buddy.
Yeah,
picking up what you're throwing down, son.
When you get it right, it's very good, and they got it right. And this one I can find. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I've never been a mad fan of the milkshake IPAs, but when you have a good one. Yeah, that's definitely when it kicks it. I think I had one with you, mate, Joel. I think I don't know if that was Eagle Park though. It might have been, and I had a milkshake IPA there, and it looked like super cloudy, but it was really sweet and tasty. Like it was really good.
That's probably it, right? We had that Glommer on who sat with at our table for a while. Was that we were at?
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. She was mental.
Yeah, we were at Eagle Park
Nice.
there for that, and that.
Yeah, that's it. That's the beer. I always remember that beer because of that lady. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
Ran into her at some other function, and that was awkward. Oh boy.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You never told me that.
She's like giving me that look across the room. I'm like, nah, you don't know me. No,
The look of the smolder. Like,
we're good. We're good. But all right, raise them glasses. Cheers, fellas. Cheers to you for
cheers,
listening.
boys.
Shane, yours and my color are very similar there. Mine's a little
That's what
dark.
I'm talking about.
Mine's a little darker. I
Right.
feel like we're throwing Karl under the bus here, though. It is still stout season.
Good.
You know, I almost had a stout today, but then
I
I
almost did too.
then I saw these in the fridge. I'm like, no. I can slam these and still function.
There you go. That's what I'm saying, man. A little bit lighter percentage, just then you can have a bunch and, it's,
Yeah.
you can, and the smaller cans are easy to toss so nobody sees them,
Yeah, easy to hide. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
How many you had? Oh, not two.
Really? Yeah, no, it's good, man.
Well,
Good choices. I got to ask, was that label upside down on the can? It looked like it was. Very crafty.
nah, it's like right side up and upside down. It's both.
Ooh.
If you can-
Interesting.
That is cool.
kind of it's the same on both sides.
Right.
Yeah. Very delicious beer. Eagle Park, man. Good stuff. I love that I can get this at the grocery store now. Very good. They're expensive though, man. I went to Whole Foods the other day, not far from me, and they had this there, and I'm like, yes, $20 for a 4-pack. I'm like, oh, I love that beer, but
Yeah.
Just you pull out some of that,
You
some of
know?
that Canadiese money. Because
Right.
that's a Canadian price for a 4-pack up here, man. A good one, you're looking $20, but
it's a little much. And then I went to the other grocery store that I go to, and they had it on sale for $15. I'm like, well,
nice.
I mean, it's practically jumped in my cart. I'm like, just get on in there, go, jump, come on, hop
Isn't that
on
the
in, buddy.
worst, though? When it's on sale and you've got loads of it in your trolley, and people just shoot you a look. It's on sale, I don't need 50 cans.
I should have bought more. Had a good night last night. They're gone now, but man, so good. Any other games, any hidden gems, anything you guys are playing that you want to share and talk about before we exit for another 2 weeks?
Just real quick, I've finished a game off the backlog. So my first game done this year, Halo Reach. Just going through that little Halo collection on Game Pass.
Great game. Great game.
Yeah, do you know what? It was really, I really enjoyed it. I played it in a few different parts. I started it at Extra Life in November, and I thought I really want to finish it. And a couple more mornings, and it was easily done. These games still look really good. I mean, I know I'm playing it on PC, but man, the kind of the remaster they did, yeah, superb. It's still, it handles great, plays great. Storyline was pretty good as well. And I always get confused with the Halo games, but I feel like this one, it sets the tone. It gives you a bit of an idea about what's going on. So I quite enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to playing the rest. I think I want to try and get through them all before Halo 5 comes out, which I'm assuming will be the end of the year, but we don't know. At some point this year. But yes, I've only ever played Halo 3 before, and this one was really good. Really enjoyed it. So let's bring on the next one. Bring on Halo.
Yeah, Halo, what's it called? Infinite
Combat. Oh, the new one.
Yeah, the new one. 5 is out already. 5's been out for a while. Infinite.
Oh, Halo Infinite. Yeah.
Halo Infinite. There you go. Which I think is due out this fall. But
Yes.
good on you for playing through all of those. There's some ups and downs throughout that quest that you're going to go through there. But I thought I thought Halo Reach was one of the better games in that series.
We'll see. I'll play through them all. Why not? They're on Game Pass, and it'd be nice to just tick them off the backlog, really. So, yeah, I'll dip in and out though. I won't go too Halo heavy.
Sounds good. Shane, anything you want to mention?
Yes. I looked on my PlayStation 5 because you can see now how many hours you've put into video games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over 100 hours in NHL 21.
Holy smokes. Damn, dude.
So I went down the list, and NHL 20 was like 30 hours. And then it would, previous years would go down 25. So that's a testament, man.
Yeah, I'd say.
That was my game of the year. I want to say I took some slack for that. I gave myself slack for that, because who picks a sports game as a favorite game of the year? Well, that's a testament. Great game. Definitely got its bugs. Far from perfect. But I'm opening those packs. We getting packs. Packs for days, as they said on the internet about 6 years ago. But yeah, no, just having fun, man. It's been January was a little bit more hectic than most months. It's actually been busy at work. So getting home is kind of like, do I want to fire up a campaign or something? It's like, just gonna chill, pass the time, get in the chat, talk to some good peeps, some good friends, and just turn the brain off and go bar down ski, man. That's what we do, T-drag on a B-way all day, man. Always want a Tilly, let's go, right? So yeah, it's just been great, just playing some gel and hockey season's back. We always end on sports.
We'd be remiss not to now, wouldn't we? Right? I feel it though, dude. I feel you come home from work, like my time has literally been work. Even though I'm working at home, like the work and the family and like the and moving house now a dog and stuff. Like it all takes time. I wanted to stream and stuff. I just haven't at the time. But I'll get back to it at some point, maybe when this dog has settled in a little bit. But yeah, we do always end on sport. That's great. Obviously, we should keep that tradition up, especially when the Villa are playing so well. Just saying.
That's good. Packers lost. It was painful. Painful. I was going to start the show by saying ABOG, Super Bowl bound. Your Super Bowl podcast because the Packers are not going. Damn it. So close.
Tom Brady is again, though.
Yeah.
He's an alien.
Yeah. He's something, all right. All right.
Oh, he's running out of fingers to put the rings on. Yeah, well, I know a good place he can put another one. So,
he's never coming on the show as a guest now. You've done it.
No, he's not invited. So there's that.
Yeah, I've saw Ted. No chance.
What? Yeah.
All right, everybody. Let's get out of here before we alienate our listeners any more than we already have. We're really good at that too. No, we're not. We're great. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate you a lot. Thanks for being a part of this with us. Till next time. Cheers. See ya.
Join our Discord.
Please.
Or else.
Again, no.
Oh, we always end with a threat. That ended with sports. This is every other week a Shane threat. I love it. Just we'll scare ourselves to success. We'll scare listeners to success. I love it. There we go.
It's a good looking beer.